This video is based on another suggestion from Joe G, and in this one I'm placing a fanatic materialist and a fanatic spiritualist. I bumped that up from spiritualist, machine empire, an empath hive mind, all in the same galaxy to see what would happen. For the machine empire, I chose the Tebrid homolog. They're machine intelligence, they're driven in simulators, they have static research analysis, they're gestalt consciousness, the machine intelligence, as I said earlier, logic engines. They have learning algorithms, and they're luxurious. They've got a prosperous unification origin. For the fanatic materialist, I chose the Vor technocracy. They're a technocratic dictatorship. They're dictatorial. I'll get some tool tips here. They're a technocracy. They're environmentalists. They're authoritarian. They're fanatic militarists. They're quick learners, talented, adaptive, repugnant, and have the prosperous unification origin. For my fanatic spiritualist empire, I chose the Kingdom of Odorum. Joe G suggested spiritualist, but I decided to go with the fanatic version instead. They're a divine empire. They're imperial cult, aristocratic elite, authoritarian, fanatic spiritualists, conformists, natural physicists, and they're slow learners. They've also got prosperous unification. There was not a default empire that I could choose from. There was the empathic hive mind, so I created one based on the Ixodar Star Collective. So for them, I took out the pooled knowledge and added the empath civic. So these, and called them the Empathia Collective, and I gave them a necroid look. So kind of fun. Just I have fun with it. So anyway, they've got natural neural networks. They're empath. They're gestalt consciousness. They're hive-minded, rapid breeders, strong, and fleeting, and they've got prosperous unification as their origin. So I want to take a quick look at the game settings and then get started with the game. So I've set up the medium galaxy size, 600 stars, left it on elliptical. That's my common setting. I need to change that someday. I've got 3 AI empires, no advanced AIs, no fallen empires. I left 2 Marauder empires in there just to add a little flavor to the game. These are all pretty standard. I left the difficulty setting at Grand Admiral and AI aggressiveness at high, so I get the action going a little bit more. So that being said, I'll get started with the game. So here's my empire placement. Kind of hard to see since it's such a large map, but my AI empires are all on the same side of the galaxy. Here's a Marauder empire, and here's a Marauder empire. So I'll zoom in a little bit and highlight these. There's the Kingdom of Yodam up there. The Empathia Collective is here. The Vor technology is down here, and the Tebrid homologs are up here. With that, I'll take the game off pause and we'll just let it progress. I think I'll stay focused on this part of the galaxy for now, since that's where the empires are. Well, another independent empire just popped up, so I'll give it a minute, see if it persists, and then if it does, I'll take a look at it. So this new empire that sprung up is the Garanshu tribes. I'm going to take a closer look at them just to see what's going on. Looks like they're going to persist. They're already in second place in the game. So a little surprise there.
Situation log updated.
So for their ruler traits, they've got the Industrialist and Home in the Sky, which gives them star-based module cost reduction of 20%. Their star-based upgrade cost reduction of 10%. Those are good. Their governing ethics are militarist and a fanatic spiritualist. So it looks like the empathic collective, or the Empathia Collective, has some competition. Civics are a meritocracy and a warrior culture, and they've got prosperous unification as their origin. And their next election, they're democratic. Have elections every 10 years. This looks like an empire that I would have liked to have created myself. The first war is broken out, and the Granchu tribes have declared war on the Tebrid homologue, and they are the tribes of the aggressors, and they have a substantial advantage militarily. So I think I'll drop in and take a look at the war goals and the ships on each side and get a feel of what's going on. So I've signed in as the Granchu tribes to take a look at their empire. As you can see, they've got some ships here by the border. More, I'm sure, are headed that way. Yes. So to take a look at their ships, they've got a fleet of corvettes, and the corvettes are standard-ish pretty much. They've got 2 small coil guns and a small cutting laser, and 2 Class 2 armor and 1 Class 1 shield. I'll take a look at their other fleets real quick. In this fleet, they've got some destroyers along with their corvettes. So the destroyers have a medium coil gun, 3 small coil guns, cutting laser. They've got 4 Class 2 armors, 2 Class 1 shields, and 2 afterburners. And the corvettes in this fleet are armed with 2 small mass drivers, nuclear missiles, 2 Class 2 armor, and 1 Class 2 shield. So defensively, it looks like they're going the same, but offensively, they've got a little bit different layout for the ships. The war goals for the Granchu tribes are end threat. Wars waged to end a threat to galactic civilization. And the Tebrid homologue war goals are absorption. Wars waged to utterly consume the enemy. Their economy looks pretty sound, really. They're over their naval capacity, but that's really not a real big penalty. You've got the economy to handle it. As for traditions, I haven't looked at their traditions yet. So for traditions, they've got discovery, completely adopted. They've got expansion, 4 out of 5 of those. For an ascension perk, they've got 1 vision, gives them a bonus in monthly unity and amenities usage and governing ethics attraction. I'm signed in as a Tebrid homologue right now. Here's their fleets are down here at the border, getting ready to attack. This fleet has destroyers and corvettes in it. The destroyers have 1 medium mass driver, 2 Class 2 fusion missiles, small, and 2 small flak batteries. They've got 4 armor Class 2s and 2 shields Class 2s. As for their corvettes, they have a small mass driver, 2 of them, Class 1, and the nuclear missiles, and 2 Class 2 armor and 1 Class 1 shield. This fleet, they've got only got 2 destroyers in this fleet. Same loadout. So for their traditions, they've got expansion, and they've got 2 out of 5 of these traditions adopted in the domination tree. And for their ascension perk, they've got executive vigor. As for their economy, it looks pretty strong also. And now the war is over, and just like that, the Granchu tribes are no more. Another war has erupted, this one between the Vor Technocracy. They declared war on the Empathic Collective, and they've got a 2-to-1 numerical advantage when it comes to the military. So I'm going to sign in as the Vor Technocracy since they're the aggressor and take a look at the war goals and things like that. Well, the war goals for both sides are humiliate, so at the most I'll execute the other guy's leader if they win the war. So I don't expect to see a whole lot of shifting the borders or anything else like that. For their economy, their economy looks pretty healthy, really. Take a look at the ships. Bring up the outliner, hopefully. This fleet has destroyers and corvettes. Take a look at the destroyers. They've got 1 medium plasma thrower. They've got 3 small energy siphons and a small plasma thrower. They have got 4 shields class 2 and 2 armor class 2, and they've got 2 afterburners in their destroyer slots. That's a Jalmalk class, whatever it is. So for corvettes, they've got a small plasma thrower and 2 small energy siphons, 2 class 2 shields, 1 class 2 armor, and an afterburner. Take a look at another fleet. This fleet has cruisers. So they've got a large coil gun, and then they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 small coil guns, all of them class 2. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 class 2 shields and 1, 2, 3, 4 class 2 armor. Let's see, they've got destroyers in this fleet, and they've got a medium plasma accelerator, and they've got small disruptors, 2 of them. And they've got a energy siphon, a small plasma accelerator. So they've mixed up their fleets a little bit. For the corvettes in this fleet, they've got a small plasma accelerator, small disruptor, small energy siphon, afterburners, 2 shields, and an armor. We'll look at their traditions real quickly. So they've got expansion fully adopted, discovery, they've got 4 out of 5 adopted in discovery. And for the ascension perk, they've got technological ascendancy. Switch over to the empathic collective real quick, and they're having a few economic problems. They've got a shortage in food going on. Take a look at their fleets real quick. So they've got destroyers, so they've got medium coil gun 1, they've got 3 small coil guns and a small nuclear missile, 3 shields, 3 armors, nothing auxiliary slots. Corvettes, then 3 small coil guns, 1 shield, 2 armor. So they're focusing heavily on kinetic, it looks like. Let me take a look at one more fleet just to see. Yeah, destroyer is pretty much the same in this fleet. Medium coil gun, 3 small coil guns, nuclear missile, evenly split between shields and armor. Corvettes, 2 small mass drivers, nuclear missiles, 2 shields and 1 armor, but they're only class 1s. As for traditions, they've adopted expansion and they've adopted discovery, and they're working on prosperity now. They've got 0 out of 5 adopted on that one. For their ascension perks, they have nihilistic acquisition and technological ascendancy. And the war was over, and I didn't really see any empire border changes, so I didn't think there would be. I saw these guys spring up. They are martial dictatorship, militarist, fanatic materialist, or civics warrior culture, and environmentalist. They've got prosperous unification for their origin. Kingdom of Yonderum has declared war on the Galactic Cantharian Authority, and it doesn't look like it'll be much of a battle. They outnumber them out over 10 to 1 militarily. I'm going to drop in and take a quick look at the fleets and war goals. I've signed in as a Kingdom of Yonderum, and I'm going to take a look at their war goals. So the Kingdom of Yonderum has vassalize as their war goal, so they're going to try to take these guys out of action, basically. It seems like them and their empire. As for the defenders, their war goal is humiliate, which I don't think they'll accomplish, so I think this will be a fairly quick war. I'll take a look at their ships real quick and take a look at one of the more powerful fleets that I see. Now this one, they've got cruisers. Cruisers have a medium autocannon, a large autocannon, and a medium plasma accelerator, 2 of them, and small autocannon and a small plasma accelerator. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 class 3 armor. They've got 1, 2, 3 class 2 shields and 3 auxiliary fire controls. As for their destroyers, they've got medium plasma thrower, 2 small disruptors, a small fusion missile, and small plasma thrower. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Class 3 armors and 2 Class 2 shields and 2 auxiliary fire controls. Corvettes, 2 small mass drivers, nuclear missiles, 2 Class 2 armor, 1 Class 2 shield. As for traditions and ascension perks, they've got discovery, they've got expansion fully adopted, they're working on harmony, and for the ascension perks, they've got technological ascendancy and 1 vision. I'm now signed in as a Galactic Cantharian Authority, and they're having a little trouble economically. They're starting to run a deficit in energy. We'll take a look at their ships real quick. Let's see, take a look at this one. They've got corvettes, pretty low tier, 2 small mass drivers and a nuclear missile, 2 Class 1 shields and 1 armor. And I think they've got is corvettes. So I don't think it'll be much of a war. Check out their traditions and ascension perks real quick. They've got domination, and they're in the process of finishing up discovery, and their ascension perk is mastery of nature. The war is over, no border change. I'm going to drop in on the contacts for the Kingdom of Yonderim and see what's going on. So the Galactic Cantharian Authority has become a protectorate under the Kingdom of Yonderim, so it didn't take them long to subjugate that empire. Another war has started. The war technocracies declared war on the Empathia Collective. So once again, I'll drop in, take a look at the ships, war goals, and a few other things. I've signed in as the war technocracy since they're the aggressors. I want to take a look at the war goals. And they have conquer, which means war is waged to seize claimed enemy systems. Their economy doesn't look to be in too bad a shape. Find some ships to look at. And let's see, I'll find one of the more powerful fleets and look at it. So they've got cruisers. They've got 1 large plasma accelerator, 2 medium plasma accelerators, 1 medium disruptor, 1 small disruptor, or 1 small plasma accelerator, and 1 small disruptor. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Class 2 shields, and 1, 2, 3 Class 2 armor, and 1 set of afterburners. As for their destroyers, they have 1 medium plasma thrower, they have 3 small energy siphons, and 1 small plasma thrower, and 1, 2, 3, 4 Class 2 shields, 2 Class 2 armor, and 2 afterburners. And the corvettes have 1 small plasma thrower and 2 small energy siphons, 2 Class 2 shields, 1 Class 2 armor, and 1 afterburner. I might as well take a look at their traditions and ascension perks while I'm at it. They've adopted expansion, they've adopted discovery, and they're in the process of adopting mercantile. They have got the technological ascendancy ascension perk, and they've got transcendent learning ascension perk. I'm now signed in as the Empathia Collective. Their economy looks to be in pretty good shape too. So I'll find a fleet to look at. This looks like a good one right here. They've got cruisers. Their cruisers have 2 large advanced railguns and 2 medium autocannon, and 1, 2, 3, 4 Class 3 shields, and 1, 2, 3, 4 Class 2 armor. Nothing in the auxiliary slots. In destroyers, they've got 1 medium coil gun, they've got 3 small coil guns, and they've got 1 nuclear missile. They've got 1, 2, 3 Class 2 shields, and 1, 2, 3 Class 2 armor. Nothing in the auxiliary slots. As for the corvettes, if they've got some here we go. 2 small mass drivers, 1 small nuclear missile, 2 Class 1 shields, and 1 Class 1 armor. Take a quick look at the traditions and ascension perks while I'm at it. They've adopted expansion, they've adopted discovery, and they're working on prosperity. And for their ascension perks, they have nihilistic acquisition and technological ascendancy. That seems to be a pretty popular one. Before I take the game off pause, I want to look at their military strength. So the Vor Technocracy's got 31.7k, whereas the Empathia Collective has 22.8k. A little bit of disparity, but nothing really major in my opinion. I thought I would drop in and take a look at the war from the Empathia Collective's perspective. The green ships are theirs, and the systems that have a green octagon around them are the ones that they've occupied. So they're making some advances into the Vor Technologies territory early in the war.
Our hive is under attack. Crushing a hostile hive. Crushing a hostile hive. Hostile swarm engaged.
Here's a look from the Vor Technologies perspective. Their ships are now green. Empathia Collective is now red. You can see they've got 4, 5, 6 systems occupied. When I check the progress of the war, it seems pretty even. 40% war exhaustion on both sides. The war is now over. I didn't see much of a border change, but I'm going to drop in on the empires and see what happened. One thing I do notice is that even though the war was pretty even, somehow the Vor Technocracy's got a lot more military power than the Empathia Collective, almost double. And I don't know if they outproduced them or had better technology or better ships or what, but I'm going to have to drop in and figure that out too. Taking a look at the Vor Technocracy's economy real quick, they still seem to be in pretty good shape. Of course, they went over the naval capacity a little bit, but that's to be expected during a war. Take a look at the contacts, and Empathic Collective is not a protectorate, or it's not a vassal or whatever. They're inferior, so nothing happened there. When I look at their they've got 2 shipyards and a lot of planets, so nothing extraordinary there about their shipbuilding capacity. Take a look at their fleets. Let's see, what's a big one? This is a pretty big one. And they have battleships. That may have been what turned the tide. This battleship has got, wow, it's got 1, 2, 3 large railguns and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 medium railguns and 2 antimatter missiles. They've got 1, 2, 3 class 3 shields and 1, 2, 3 class 3 armor. So the battleships may be what turned the tide in this war. Let me look at the Empathia Collective real quick. The Empathia Collective's economy, they look like they're struggling a little bit right now. They've got several issues going on, and they're underneath their naval capacity, so I guess they suffered some attrition during the war. Take a look at their ships. I'll take a look at this fleet. I don't see any battleships there. Cruisers only. Corvettes. So I think what turned the tide is the battleships, because they've also got 2 shipyards, just like the Vor Technocracy. So I don't know. Interesting. The Vor Technocracy has declared war on the Empathia Collective again, so I have to drop in and take a look, see what's going on. And they've got 100k military power compared to 86, so they slightly outgun the Empathia Collective, probably enough to make a difference. So let me drop in and see what's going on. I've signed in as a Vor Technocracy. Their economy looks pretty good. They are overusing their naval capacity a little bit, but that's understandable since they're going to war. Take a look at the war goals. And they're waging a war of humiliation against the Empathia Collective. If they surrender, then looks like the Empathia Collective gets any claim systems they have that are occupied by them. So take a look at the ships. Shipyards. Shipyards look about the same. Take a look at their military fleets, find a powerful one. And they've still got battleships. And they've changed their armament. They've got large gamma laser, some medium phase disruptors, a small plasma accelerator, an energy siphon, some large gamma lasers, and a large Ripper autocannon. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4 class 4 armors, and 1, 2, 3 class 3 shields. Looks like they're focusing on defending themselves against kinetic weapons. They've got two shield capacitors, so that makes up for that. Advancing up here. Let me drop in on the Empathia Collective real quick. Their economy is still in the tank. And at least they're over their naval capacity, which is probably good for them. Shipyards. They've still got 2 shipyards. See if they've got battleships yet. That might help them out some. Let me take a look at this one. And they do have battleships now. So their battleships, they've got large Ripper autocannons, medium Ripper autocannons. They've got some ancient nano missile cloud launchers, 2-point defenses, some strike craft, and they've got a couple more medium Ripper autocannons. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 class 3 shields and 2 class 3 armor, and they've got 3 auxiliary fire controls in their auxiliary slots. So see how this war unfolds a second time.
Newness is born.
I thought I'd try something different in this video and take a look at the war from the battlefront, so to speak. So here's some different shots that I haven't had
Hive
before.
is under attack.
I'm playing as the Vor Technocracy right now, so their ships will be in green, and the Empathia Collectives will be in red. I'll switch to a slower game speed pretty soon, so we can get a better view of what's going on.
Crushing a hostile hive. Our hive is under attack. Hostile swarm engaged.
Even though I'm looking at a specific empire, I'm still signed in as in observer mode. So I'll probably have to sign in as one of the actual empires to get the battle reports that I like to see.
Our hive is under attack.
So I've got the game briefly paused. I want to take a look at the war exhaustion. And it looks like it's going pretty poorly for the attackers, which are the Vor. They've got a war exhaustion of 70% versus 34% for the defenders. So if they surrender right now, it looks like they'll lose 1 system. Of course, I can't stay signed in too long as another empire, because that means I'm playing for them, which means I took over from the AI, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna need it. So I signed back out, went back into observer mode. Even though I'm in observer mode, I can still focus on an empire, so I chose to focus on the Vor Technocracy. So their ships would be green, and the Empathia Collective ships would be in red. I thought this was a particularly interesting battle to focus on, because even though the Empathia Collective outnumbered the Vor Technocracy almost 2-to-1 militarily, they still lost the battle. I think that's because of the plasma accelerators the Vor Technocracy had.
Station under attack. Station under attack. Engaging hostile station.
Well, the war just ended, and the one system that I thought the Vor Technocracy would lose, they did lose, Jumia. That's the only shift in borders that happened from this war. I had originally intended to do all this in one video, but it's already a half hour long and I'm nowhere near finished with it. So unfortunately, I'm going to be forced to break it up into segments. So we'll just call this episode 1, and I'll try to finish it up in another episode or 2. So until then, this is Rich from Loner Strategy Games. I will see you later. Bye.